In the name of God, the most merciful, the most beneficious, first of all, I would like to extend special thanks and great thanks to the organizers and the inviters of this conference, most prominent of them, Miss Tawakkol Karman, this woman who appeared in Yemen and then went on to be granted the Nobel Peace Prize for her role in the popular revolution of Yemen that toppled one of the pillars of despotism in the Arab world at that time. Extended thanks to her, of course, because she's the only Yemen woman amongst the Yemeni people who had a foundation. She's not a businessman or woman. She is not one of the commercial figures. It is something that she's credited for. Thanks also are extended to another great lady. Her name is Misk, and this name is really indicative of her personality, which is the perfume of musk. And I address her with a different name totally. I will not use it now, so I do not have her lose this name of Misk, translating into English into musk, perfume. She kept inviting me and chasing me up until I have been here. Thank you very much, Misk, and thank you very much, Tawakkol. I will go out of context for a little bit, if I may, my lady. Commenting on this, I've heard that Ali Abdullah Saleh has invaded the south. I have also heard in that interview that he destroyed the South Army. I think that term needs to be fixed. That happened for unity, and unity should be established. There was no unity that took place with reconciliation. For example, the American, the German, the Italian, and even the Saudi unity, all of them took place based on violence. This is why I say we should not use this term. The Southern Army, it's not an army of the South, it is an army of the Yemeni state. Therefore, when they rebel, they should be brought back to the real position. It is true that the regime committed great crimes, most prominent of which not establishing foundations for this state for which Ali Abdullah Saleh has ruled with dictatorship for decades, and this is what she should be responsible for, held responsible for, and accountable for. I think that we have to be patient before using some terminology. Let me go back to our topic of the day. I have listened, and I'm still listening to Yemen legitimacy. I don't know whether this is being broadcasted live, and I am not hesitant to say that legitimacy is confiscated, is kidnapped. They cannot express their opinion or freedom because they don't have their free will. Any kidnapped person cannot go out of the context set for him by the kidnapper. Therefore, if we say that legitimacy did not provide anything, but what did these national Yemeni forces provide instead of the legitimate authority? What others have provided in order to save Yemen from the disaster it fell under? It brought occupational powers from the region by the neighbors, and it was subject to the despotism of the neighbors. So the question is, what did the Yemeni generations, the Yemeni youth, including yourselves, in exile, what did it do for Yemen in exile, and what did people in Yemen do until now? Yemeni symbolic figures are still conflicting over the legitimacy of the legitimate authority. What did those who are based in Istanbul, Cairo, Malaysia, or wherever they are, what did they do? They are demanded to work. I have heard one of our colleagues that there should be a movement towards a national unity government, a party in exile, or a unity government that is inclusive of everybody. I would like to tell our brothers in the south of Yemen, what do you want? You fought patriotic movements, communism movements, liberal movements, and other movements. What did you do? You did nothing. The Yemen unity for 30 to 40 years made something. They have committed crimes, and they will be held accountable for that, no doubt. Now we have many names of them. The Hadramaut Comprehensive Reference Conference, etc. We have a big list of these factions. In the north, the Houthis said they are in unity, but you are in the south, divided. With this background, what do you want? Isn't unity better than a bad friend? Isn't unity better than bad options and alternatives? Yemen has no future from now until doomsday without unity, the unity of its people, men, sons, education, healthcare, strife. Yemen extends from the Far Eastern Indonesia to Southeast Asia, India, and the GCC area. Half of the tradesmen in Saudi come from Yemen, and it extends to the UK, US. On those able to build a happy Yemen, wisdom is Yemeni, mindfulness is Yemeni, and we're still saying reconciliation, terminology, etc. If we fight all of these parties of liberals, unity defenders, etc., whom do we defend? For time purposes, I will go back to the GCC and the Yemeni street. Isn't that this question? GCC is going through a crisis today. It is kidnapped. It is disintegrated. It's not united. You think it is united because the name is the Gulf Cooperation Council, but it is the Council of Defeat now. God gave it the biggest wealth on earth, petrol and gas, a strategic location. People were competing for that around the world. And the importance of the Gulf started in 305 years before Christ. Alexander the Great was one of the first people to anticipate the importance, the strategic importance of that. He said that he doesn't feel safe without having a presence in the GCC. He defeated the Persians, and then he opened the appetite of the Europeans today to compete on having control there. We say that he could have been a supporter of Yemen, but it was divided, and it started to be a destroying force, a dividing force that divides the unity of Yemen, the men of Yemen, the people of Yemen, and the resources of Yemen. The GCC could have been a leader not only for the peninsula and for Yemen. I have demanded since the 80s at its birth. I told them it will not be sustainable as long as Yemen and Iraq are not part of it. Many words have been said about me, but this is my opinion, and I expressed very loudly wherever I am. The Americans have sucked, they milked it, they ate it, they've sucked it dry. I think that they will come to finish the rest. If Trump went back to governing, it will finish off the sovereign funds and we are looking for the revival of Yemen on all aspects, and the same for the Arab world and for the GCC Council. And thank you very much for taking so much time.